discussing with Vernon Shaw his experiences in World War II. Vernon, tell us when you joined, and you were in the Navy, I believe.
That's right.
When you joined in 1941, you were already in service when the war broke out. Where did you go first when you went in?
Norfolk, Virginia, for boot camp. From there, I went to Jacksonville to school, aviation machinist mate.
Well, when you said aviation machinist mate, that really means you worked on engines, aircraft engines.
Worked on airplanes.
Airplanes?
Yeah, anything that come about.
And you were a third-class aviation machinist. Well, now, when did you have an experience with blimps?
With what?
Blimps? Did you transferred
right after that, they was going to form the invasion force in Europe, and I was put in line 4. They 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank goodness, and they shipped us to Richmond, Florida, to the blimp base to wait.
That was a blimp base.
It was new. They, of course, they used the blimp down as get the German sub. And I stayed down there for a while and was transferred to Seattle, Washington, all the way across the country. And I went to the Naval Air Base there.
In Seattle.
It was called San Paul. And the unit was there, was to go upon the carrier Enterprise. It was in dock over in Brentford. And the air group was there training Biden at the time. And we helped out with that. And then the next thing I knew, I was transferred to the carrier.
Well, going back a little bit, tell us about crossing. You had a long way to cross the country, and you were talking about, well, going back to Miami, going back to Richmond, Florida. You had to go down in the Everglades.
I didn't, but a lot of them did. The Germans would found out that they could surface and shoot those blimps down.
Oh, that's what you were telling me. Okay, but you were okay.
And they would they'd be something wrong. They could fly, they'd fly, but a lot of them have to crash land, and they crash them in the Everglades. But they dropped the bombs, the depth charges, before they crash. And they send those people down there, the sailors that go back and hunt for those depth charges. They didn't want nobody to get a hold of them in case they'd blow up. And them guys come back saying they run across people back there, savages, and they didn't know the war was going on. And what they were doing back there, and they had to tell them and had to give them something, to feed them before they could get out of there, because it was headhunters out there. And anyhow, I was lucky. I didn't have to go on none of those trips. I stayed there and they transferred me,
To Seattle.
yeah, all the way across the country, riding the train.
Well, is that when did you get in any pheasant shooting? You saw a lot of pheasants.
Oh, man, we went the northern route, you know, there's two routes out of Chicago. One's a called the southern, one's the northern. The southern goes to California. We went the northern one. And sometimes the train wouldn't be going 5 or 10 miles an hour, climbing those mountains and everything. And we stand back there on the back of the train, looking. Of course, the conductor was back there with us. And if you're looking out there in those fields, and you could see those pheasants getting up, flying all over. I said, man, I said, this old South Georgia man, boy, could really have some fun. He said, yeah, but he said, I tell you, they're a lot harder to find when you get out there hunting. We had to, what got me, you have to back into Brute, Montana. The train back, well, it'd take me about half a day to find the back in there. And as we got out, I noticed a group of boys out there. Red Cross was out there with donuts and coffee, 25 cents. Of course, we'd have been willing to pay that 25 cents. But looked up the train piece, and there was a big bunch of guys up there. And I said, what's going on up there? We went up there, and the people of that town was handing out feather sandwiches. You talking about something good, big old fat thing, and one of them would make a meal. And look back at the Red Cross, wasn't nobody back.
Well,
They was all up back getting them feather sandwiches.
Well, they were free.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah.
Well, then we went on to
Seattle.
San Juan. I never seen the carrier. I didn't know. South Georgia boy. I was kind of worried a little bit, and got away and they put us in this. We was working with this squadron bit. They told us that they were going aboard the ship. They didn't say we were going, but they told us they were going.
Did you know the name of it? Did they tell you what ship it was going to be? And the name? You have to carry.
They told us the Enterprise was in town. In port. And of course, I didn't know the Enterprise was nothing there. At that time, there wasn't very many first line carriers, you know. Of course, they were fortunate that they didn't get some at Pearl Harbor because they wasn't in the
Right.
no. They were out on the Enterprise, and another carrier too, was out training, doing something. And they come in, they had 2 accidents. And talking to the old boys that was on the ship, they said that was a terrible sight to see all those ships laying on the side.
That's when y'all got to Pearl Harbor. But you in Seattle, up Sand Point, you had already been, the planes had already come aboard the Enterprise.
Not yet.
No, they hadn't. That you got those later.
Yeah, they were over there training. And when we getting ahead of ourselves, when we went aboard the car, as I told you, episode there that they sent a crew over there, the officer in charge, and they drew the ship out on the flight deck. And I was what they call a plane captain. You know, aboard the ship, everybody wears a different type of jersey. I mean, thing, and you know one from the other. And but anyhow, they trained us, or was going to train us. We had to taxi those planes when they were on aboard ship.
You did?
I did. The only ship in the fleet that let the enlisted personnel do that.
What?
And it ain't no good feeling, boy, I'm telling you, when those guys get out there and expedite the moving of the planes and everything, and you sitting up there with that powerful airplane, and he's giving you all kinds of signals, and you better abide by it.
What kind of plane was it?
Had the F-6S, the fighter.
F-6F? I mean,
Of course, back then, I never heard of a jet.
well, it wasn't a jet, that was a propeller. Did you have propellers the whole, you didn't get in?
I didn't get in, the jets come in right, left and fleet.
Was this what they called the Wildcat? Okay. But that was your plane. You had one plane that you were
I
in
had
charge of.
one plane, assigned to one plane to take care of it, and to take care of the pilot when he come out there. What happened when the ship pulled out, we've been out there and landed, all the squadron come in and landed, come aboard ship. And they sat there and practiced a long time in Puget Sound, you know, it's just like an ocean. And they fly off, you know, and then land. Take off and land.
That was on the ship, that was?
Yeah, that's the start. And we went back into Pearl Harbor and taking on some supplies, I noticed we did. And we was on anything about a day or so. And the next, we moving out the ship, and we got to see about a day or so out at sea. The announcer says, we're headed to the Gilbert Islands to invade, take, and hold Texas. So, governors does the course. And of course, he didn't know anything about any war at that time, you know. Us new guys don't know now, the old guys did. But the way they worked that thing, the battle wagons would go in, and they just pulverized him out, you know, with them big guns. And then Marines would land, and our ship was supply support
For the Marines.
for the Marines. They call it on certain target blowed up. That's what happened. One time, I'm going to tell you about this, maybe I will not say nothing about it, but
No.
I don't remember now which island it was, but anyhow, the Marine hit a stall. The Japs stopped. And they called for a big bomb, 2,000 pounds. And they took off. I remember this as good when they put that thing on that ship, on that airplane. From the time that airplane left the ship till it got to the target, the Marines broke through. they dropped that bomb right in the middle of them Marines. And they said it killed about 15 or 20. And of course, our ship, they were trying to apologize and all that, you know, what goes on. And that commander over there on that beach says, forget it. So we're sorry it happened. But they sent us one plane. That's all I said. Said, forget it.
Well, that was a pretty heavy. Could they get that on one of those fighter planes, that big bomb?
Torpedo plane.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, a torpedo plane would take it.
Well, then while you were in the Gilbert, you started the Highland Company. You went from one group.
One to the other.
And you named me.
The next one, I can't remember. The Marshalls.
The Marshalls, you mentioned the Marshalls.
Marshall Islands was dead.
What? Yeah.
And we still hadn't seen, on board ship, we hadn't seen no Jap planes or anything that got to us. Of course, we were still a pretty good piece from their range. And we kept advancing. And I can't remember all those islands that, you know, that take one island out there called the Tuck Island.
Truck.
And evidently they said that they didn't see why it would be any use to us. But every time a plane would fly up there and he couldn't find his cargo or something else, they come back, they drop a bomb on the plane.
On truck.
And I guess until the war ended, the Japs were still there and they would shoot. Some of our planes got shot down out there. But anyhow, we got on that, we first started seeing. They started the suicide mission.
Even then, that.
It was past at Marshall. It wasn't too bad to start with, but it escaped. You really escaped, and you couldn't go down in your bunk on the hangar deck, down below, and lay down in your bunk and look up. And afraid one of them planes was going to stick his nose down through there.
When you
couldn't get no rest, and the Japs got where they'd send those, they call them biddies. There was a bomb of some kind, and all they were doing is just harassing, keeping us away. Keeping the fleet jump water where he go. And at night, they'd come in at night. They wouldn't come in at daytime. And later on, they got night fighters. We had them on our ship. They started shooting them down and they slowed that business down.
But at that time, they never did hit you. The bombers never did.
They wouldn't come in the circle. They wouldn't come in the circle. Sometimes some of them would slip up and guns from the ships would shoot them down.
Let me run back here a minute. Well, you mentioned the old salts. There was some aboard the Enterprise. And they had been at Midway.
They've been through all the big battles out there before. That's when they had the battle on the fleets. They were trying to get, and they still didn't get all of the Japanese fleet. They still had about 4 first-line carriers, big ones. Of course, later on, we stopped that business. We stopped. And in the first battle, first out of the Philippine Sea, they located the Jap fleet. And Bull Hawley, you know what kind of man he was. Man, he was tough. They launched our planes, middle way of the evening, late. I mean, they took off. And they was to go, they found them where the Japs was at. They was to go, drop their bombs and get back, because they had just had enough gas to make the trip. If they made 2 or 3 dives there, they wouldn't make it back. So they don't know what kind of damage they done. They come back and said they left a lot of ships burning. But they never, as they really find out what happened on that. And of course the Japs come into us too.
Did they come in at night? Y'all had night fighters.
No, they come in the daytime. I mean, they'd have the radar would pick them up 40 to 50 miles an hour. And they tell us they had bogies on the screen. For that time, they go to general quarters. Everybody go to the battle station. And they keep track of them as they advance coming in. And they knew where we were at, because they were coming right straight out. And then when they get in the circle of the ramp, see it. The task force, the destroyers, are the ones on the outer edge. Then comes the cruisers and battle wagons coming in. And they put those battle wagons and some crews around the carriers. Protect the carriers, that's the biggest thing is they didn't, wasn't worried about the other one. I'm telling you, you could set up there one time about this ship, a new cruiser come out there. We woke up one morning and it was sitting right on our fantail. And it had guns all over it. And we were wondering, I'd like to see that thing open up, and we did. They come in there, and them boys on that ship, fresh on the stake, green, didn't they were shooting that gun, and it actually shot down some of our planes would get in there, trying to, and, but I'm telling you, it looked like it was a blaze all over. It was fine.
Now, was that the time, or was it the time you were telling about the Halsey set up the planes, and a lot of them fell into the ocean?
They were getting back
and
after
the
the dock.
destroyers had to pick them up. Y'all couldn't pick them up,
Oh, we didn't spot for that.
but the destroyer picked them up a lot.
That night, when they come in, he gave an order to turn the lights on. I mean, well, they could see the carrier. And we had floodlights all over that country. Jack Twain tried to land on our ship. He was lost. Everything was crazy. And our plane was running out of gas. You could see it all in the water at night. You know, they had them little lights on, and the destroyers picked it up. Had the Japs known, they could have tore us up the next day. Oh, we lost a lot of planes. We didn't have enough planes out there. And you heard of the Kaiser coffins, them little bitty Jeep carriers.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, man, you could see them things on their rise, and they were bringing spare planes.
Yeah, that was the kind of coffee, yeah, baby carrot.
Yeah, little carrot. They used, some of them time would go into combat, but they didn't put them in that. God, you could never push it.
Now, did your carrier, when the destroyer brought back one of your pilots that was shot down, didn't y'all give them ice cream, the destroyer?
When they brought pilots back aboard, the guys that were still able to fly and everything, the little destroyer would come up by the ship and they'd string all them things out there, and they'd transfer those guys, and they'd send them ice cream. Of course, the people on the destroyer, they didn't have nothing like that. And they scrap for it, boy, when they see that stuff coming across. And they want to pick those guys up because they know they were going to get some ice cream. And things like that, you know, goes a long way because you haven't had nothing like that in a long time. And
Well,
but the second battle of the Philippine Sea, that's when they really hurt the Japs. They found they were on one side of the island, and we were on the other. And they found, but they still controlled that island. So they,
Leyte,
where's it?
Leyte,
Back
Who's
on.
that was on Leyte when he went walking in.
Anyhow.
You and I were talking about that when he made his famous walking.
They found, the Japs, they wouldn't have enough gas to get to our fleet. We hadn't launched anything for there. And it was going, the whole task force was going just as hard as it could, right straight toward it. Anyhow, the Japs was coming in that island and gassing up. One plane got through to us at the fleet. They had shooting them down, that's what they call the turkey shoot. And they lost, I forget the number, 200 or 300 planes. And they didn't have a chance to get in. So we got close enough, and boy, that's when they really told it. Got fleet up.
You didn't lose any planes then.
As far as I remember,
But you saw 3 Jap carriers there. Isn't that what you told me?
yeah.
There were 3 burning.
And they said they were, one pilot that come back said that they were burning. And one, the big Jap carrier, got out, got away. And they were trying to get to that, and they found it later on. And
That was the Yamato.
and they slapped that thing. But I really think the Japs knew what was happening. I mean, they should have stopped right then. Would have saved a lot of lives, theirs and ours. But when they landed on Okinawa, that was the last island before Japan dropped them. Man, you talking about submarines? They were shipping stuff out there, all kinds of ships, bringing stuff. You could see them. They put them in our task force to protect them, you know. And but it was, that Okinawa was a bloody battle.
What, you were supporting the troops also at Iwo Jima, wasn't you?
Oh, yeah, that was before then. They had already been fighting, and they claimed that they had it secure. And the Enterprise was old. It was one of the oldest ones was built like they do in WPA. They left us up there to support the troops that was out there in the cleanup on that Iwo. And we sat up there and fought like the devil the whole time we was up there, because the Japs was coming in flying in. Because we were getting close enough that the Japs would fly land-based planes at us. I'll tell you, one time I met the whole fleet went into China Sea. And we got in there, and they were there going in and everything. And then, what they were trying to do is draw the Jap fleet out. We got in there, and one of those typhoons, they call it, over there, the same as a hurricane hit. And then we were out there in the thing, and a lot of times, you could see it over the story, sometimes they'd go, we lost this one, and you talking about, if you ever never did get sick, you get, because even the carrier was rolling, boy, I mean, and it was rough. And we finally said, get out of there. And we got out, part of the fleet would go out. A lot of protection for the other ones that was coming out, because they could. We got outside, and I don't mind telling you, man, hell. The Japs was coming to us with land-based planes, everything they could fly, and we were fighting. And it lasted 2-3 days.
And they were coming at you with kamikazes?
Them and bombs, anything they had left, they were coming. In fact, they didn't have too much left. But anyhow, we finally got that secured and got out there and rested. And that was on what time of the war. But anyhow, when we went to Okinawa, we could sit out there and see the guns flashing. We were that close. And they were flying, hitting targets, trying to help Marines. But the Japs throwed everything they had at them, and they stalled them. They stopped the Marines, believe it or not. And at that time, they said they wanted to, when I tell you, our bombers, torpedo plane, which would carry bombs. And they wanted the whole squadron. And of course, when that happened, you'd have to send mechanics and everything. I had to take care of the planes after they got out there. And I'll never forget it, my division was there, and that my commander opened up and he told us about what we were going to have to do. He said, now, I want volunteers. Hitting a soul book in their mouth. And he'd walk up and down and so we're going to have to take care of these planes.
And that
And
was,
they were gonna fly solo that. And, they brought out the records. Chief said, all right, you don't volunteer, we're gonna pick you. I was one of the oldest ones in age and on board ship, and I was married at that time. Man, they got me. He put his finger on me. Scared me to death. I mean, you know what, that feeling. They went as far as issue us the clothing that we were supposed to wear. Slide on, I said, I never even shot a pistol. I didn't know nothing about no guns. And, but anyhow, each one of them had one hung on outside. And believe it or not, just before we got on them planes to go over there, the Marines broke through. I've never been so proud of them in my life. And
you all
we
were going
didn't have to go.
they were gonna send you the same plane, now, have you stayed with the same aircraft, the same plane all the way through? Or they-
No, I left that department and went to the regular engineering department. And I was put in a group of 3 men. First class, second class, third class. I was in third class. I was the grease monkey, and I do, and we changed engines. They'd come in there, the planes, if that propeller snipped the hanger of the flight deck, the pilots wouldn't fly because they traded. And we changed engines. We had the engine change, and we could do it in no time flat.
You changed the whole engine because of the propeller?
Yeah. Throw it over the
Yeah.
guy. And, of course, if we was coming back pretty soon and had a place, had a time limit, but they'd try to take it back, send it back to states, schools and factories and everything, look at it, maybe they could do something to it anyhow. And pilots were picky, and I don't blame them. And we come in, I want to tell you, on the last flight out there, my pilot, I was sitting up on the wing, well, and they said, he told me that the squadron was going to leave the ship.
Your squadron?
Yeah. We was getting a brand new squadron. He told me, he said, I'm on side on, and all the pilots had side on, glasses, fancy glasses, all that stuff. He said, I'm gonna give it to you when I get back. Man, yeah. I said, I don't know how I can get off the ship, but I said, I'll try. He said, well, if you can, I'll ship it for you. And pilots were critical. They knew we were looking after them too. And Ross come back and cracked that plane up when he hit the deck. And they didn't even bother. They just got him out of that and threw that plane over the side, and that went with my cousin, the glasses and everything, all with.
But they say the pilot.
He told me, he said, I'll get you some more, but I never heard from him that. But he cracked it up. It was taking up too much time to try to fix it. And we didn't do all that, a lot of extra, fixing things. If we could fix it, we wanted it to fly. And that was the main thing. Of course, when we got hit out at Okinawa, I'll tell you, at about 8 or 10, I don't know, it's like, but our pilots on our flying patrol shot all of them down except one. And I tell you,
And this was a kamikaze.
yeah, and they were really coming after us that morning. It was about 7 o'clock in the morning. And right now, I can look up in the sky and see spotted clouds and bring back memories. Boy, I'm telling you, I know that pilot was good. They'd send out one officer. Because all those guys could do was just take off, go to the target, and crash. And this officer would guide them. They couldn't maneuver the planes. Our planes had an easy time shooting them down because they didn't know how to maneuver and do all that. But this guy did. He got in that cloud. And that just pouring stuff in that. They're shooting blind. Our guns and everything was shooting. And all of a sudden, that jumper come out of that cloud, right straight out. I was sitting there watching him. And he was aiming at the middle of the ship. That's where I was at. But just before he got down, they hit him. I mean, hit him hard enough to flip him on his back. That missed with all they, but he went into the ship, forward part of the ship. We had 3 elevators, and he went in the elevator pit. When his bomb went down about 5, they said, I didn't go down there. But anyhow, they spent the rest of the day. They had aboard ship, you got a station, even ship service, those guys down there, they had, you know, things to do. And that's where they were stationed at. And they was pushing tubes and everything down there and trying to get air down there. And when they finally got to them, there wasn't a scratch on them. They either got killed by the concussion, all this stuff. Gee. We spent the next 2 or 3 days buried. I mean,
Buried at sea.
Buried at sea. And they even got this much of the jet was left of it. We had a little boy that they found aboard ship. How he got on there, how he got in it, you know. But he wasn't about 15 years old. And they found him. And they told him, you ain't in the Navy. And the old joker was set up there with the admiral. Up on, you know, the admiral have a place you look down there. And everybody loved him. I mean, it was taking care of it. And when that thing, Jap hit, he took off down there. He got, that Jap had a dollar, one of those Indians, I don't know what you call them old type. Watch.
Yeah.
And he got it. And he brought it back and gonna give it to the admiral there on the tongue. Said, son, I don't want that thing. Said, you keep it. No, that was the story.
And you all never did know how he got, was he a Japanese kid or Okinawa?
No,
American?
America. And how he got aboard, he got in you know, when they, big bunch of guys, when they transfer them, somehow or another, he lied or what, something. He got in there and went to sleep and got aboard that car. And he stayed there for a long time, and they finally sent him over to destroy him, to take him out somewhere. Oh, they want to get shut of man, and they have to do it.
We've never had a story like that for.
But it was long.
Oh, me. But that's the only hit, the only damage you all had was that one.
Near misses, we had some near misses. A gun mound, you know, I tell you about when I was going, go up to the flight deck, I was down, and my crew chief called me and said, you ain't got no business up there. And my buddy, he was the head of it. And the way that thing with the ship's built, you go out through the gun mount and stairs up to the flight deck. He got up there, just as he fell over on the flight deck, they had near miss of that 5-inch gun mount. Got a near miss. And that thing went out in the morning. And he told everybody I was gone. But in the meantime, they said, you know, I was on the front, first part of the ship, and I was missing for about a day. They didn't know, they didn't see him. And when I went back down there, some of them guys look at you, you know, and we thought you was in the drink. I said, no, hardly. And that saved me. Had I thought that, I would have been in the drink, or I'd have been about half in this stuff.
You all knocked down a lot of Jap planes coming in, particularly Okinawa. The Enterprise was known as the Galloping Ghost.
That's what they were named. Yeah.
Biggie and.
It was the only carrier out that they had the president unit citation. Because, as I said, that ship was probably built during the WWII times, you know, when Roosevelt was trying to get jobs and everything. And he loved it. And that was his baby. And it went from, I mean, it was just luck, I reckon. It went all the way from the start to the end before it got hit. Real probably got knocked out of the fence.
Well, didn't Tokyo Road mention the Enterprise?
Yes, but I want to tell you that where is it in the China Sea says, we hope you boys have sent your wives and sweethearts and all that a letter, because this will be the last trip, because we're going to wind you up tonight and tomorrow. And then everybody did.
Was that when it got hit? That was that the next day it was it did get hit after that, after you got hit though, you started heading back to Pearl Harbor.
We called it Pearl Harbor, and they sent us on back to Bremerton, because it would have been too big of a job for Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor, they were working on ships that they could get back out. We got back to Bremerton. And on the way back, I mean, I was trying for another rating, and they told us that they'd give us a test and everything. And I studied and And I thought I had that thing. And we took that test. A little Chinese American beat me. I missed one part of a 4-part picture. I was the second man. And he got the rating. They gave it to him. And that school went with it. He didn't want to go to school. He turned the school down, fortunately back to Chicago. Of course, I done forgot about it. Got married that time when I come home on leave. And they called me back and said, the boy turned it down and said, you can go to Chicago. Of course, at that time, you want to spend every day you could back here in the States, so you didn't want to go back out there no more at that time.
The war was still going on.
Yeah. You didn't want to go back out there because you know it was going to be bloody.
Japan, the invasion of Japan.
The invasion. It had been world war lost from that time. And I'm just glad.
New York.
Glad they
Yeah.
dropped those bombs out there and they put towards the Japanese that the mainland was next. And
Yeah.
they stopped that thing. And then the great general back off of the border of Missouri, signed the
When-
peace treaty.
When did you get out of service? Yeah, right after.
I was going to school in Chicago when all that happened. And the Navy, well, I don't know, they said they needed more men or something. And the Army and all the other people were getting out. The Navy wasn't turning nobody loose. And I was going to school up there. And I couldn't get out. And finally, they said that they would give, you went out on points, that they were going to have the guy have the OC point. And I had enough to get along with people. And that's why
And you were married by then too.
I was married. She come and spent a while with me in Chicago.
But,
That was 1945.
1945.
Yeah, that's when he got
There you go. And you could have gotten tickets to see the Cubs, but you decided to come home.
Yeah.
They,
Come right by where they were playing the World
They-
Series.
no.
And they told us beforehand that they had tickets we could all go for one. Now, I didn't know too much about baseball. I didn't care much about it. Anyhow, I wanted to come to Georgia. And I told her right in. And when I was going to the train station on Great Lakes, that's where I got discharged. Went right by where they were playing baseball.
There you go. Well, Vernon, this has been wonderful. This has been great, and we're right on time. And I want to thank you for what you did for your country and for what you've done today to let us interview you.
Yeah.
And thank you. That's right on the money.